In this video we're going to look at the framework that supports interactive applications and just give a quick tour of some of the examples that are available. We'll start by loading up one of our examples into the tree designer, and on the options menu there's interactive applications. This list actually comes from a registration file. I'll just show you that briefly to show that this is not magic. This is the directory where the executable, the system directory where the executable sits. If I open this, the contents are not important, but it registers all the applications and configures them and registers any data that they need. The interesting thing about this is that developers or power users can add similar files. They don't need to modify the standard one. So anything beginning application services and ending in .xml can go in this directory, and SVG family tree generator will pick them all up and use them as a group, and that XML content is documented in the program notes document. So let's pick some examples from here. We won't have we'll keep information panels because I want to demonstrate something. Find persons, which is similar to the find persons in the tree designer. And we'll just go with that for now. We'll change some of the settings because I like to have pans in there. We won't reduce it to fit in a single page. We want to be able to manipulate a bigger version. Process that to generate the HTML output, and oops, I've done the process. Now I want to view it in the browser. Okay, you see this little dialog in the bottom there. I can drag it by grabbing the title bar. The show button shows me a list of all of the captions available. I can pick any one of those, so let's just pick James Asling. And you notice that the tree scrolled sideways to bring him into view and then highlighted the box. But I can do other ones as well before I dismiss it. Thomas Baker was on that side. And if I reduce this list by typing into the box, I can select more of them before I close it down. So clear will clear all the highlights. The little cross there will clear the filter term, so that puts the list back to where it was, and hide puts it down to a size that's manageable. So let's just make this browser window a little bit bigger. So this one application is just a tool for finding people in a very large tree. This is a trivial example, and it's, as I said, it's similar to the find persons in the tree designer. But what I want to do now is to go back and just demonstrate how some of these applications are not available in the pure SVG mode. Oops, let's just change the setting. I'm going to go for the pure SVG mode, which not many people will use because it's reduced functionality. But what I want to demonstrate is that some of the applications are not supported in that mode. Now if I go into the list, you still see the full list, but some are red. So I can eliminate those because I can't use them. I can use expand image, although there aren't any, and expand notes. Now when I process it, instead of an HTML file, it generates an SVG file. And when I view it, it looks superficially the same, which was my intention. But instead of a nice dialogue to say there are no notes there, I get a very simple, raw dialogue from the programming language in the background. If I just compare that with the HTML version, if I click on a box there, Instead of that raw dialogue, I get a proper one with a information icon in the corner and a little bit nicer formatting, and one that I can move around. So I don't need to go into any more detail there. Let's go back into the tree designer, and now on the change the settings again. You'll notice in this list a little question mark to the left. All that does is tell me the operations that are configured for that application. So normally you've got the option of clicking on a box, or clicking on an image in the box, or clicking on a family circle, or clicking on buttons in all four corners of the person box. So that's 7 combinations, but each of those 7 could be enhanced with a control key or a shift key or an alt key, so that's actually 4 times 7, 28 options. It is possible to get more combinations, but they will get rather complicated and messy, so SVG family tree generator has stayed at that limit. One of these examples down here, test handlers, that's the diagnostic one, and if I just show you the operations, what that's doing is testing those 4 types of click on every place where they're valid. So you don't really need that for anything of your own, but I might ask to try it if there's a browser where some of this functionality is not working properly. But if I click that, let's just see if there's a conflict. So these have got a fairly small number of operations required, but this one needs a lot. So if I try and select them all together, it's going to tell me I've got conflicts, which I don't want to see all of them. Let's switch to a different tree definition file now. Sorry, I hit the wrong button again. It's asking me if I want to abandon the changes I've made. Yes, that's fine. Again, I'll edit the settings, make sure we've got pan zoom enabled. Yep, we don't want scaled. Interactive applications. Now we're going to show you the compendia application. We'll add in expand image, which is a very simple one. It just expands the image into a different tab. And information panels will keep. Oh, we'll throw in the help panel just to show what that is. Process and view. The information panels, if we click on a box, this has been there for a long time, the pop-up panels. Let's just make this window a little bigger. So you can show one for a family circle and one for a person. And Mary Ashby, as we saw in a previous video, has text and links and an image. And you can put anything you can represent with HTML in there. So if I control click on a box and control click on a family circle, any one will do. That dismisses those panels. The little help button there, that stays fixed in the bottom right of the window. If you select it, then it just brings up a memory jogger of all of the operations you've got configured. So the different clicks. It's not very wordy, it's just a memory jogger rather than help text. Hitting it twice dismisses it, but you can also access it with an alt click on any one of the boxes. More importantly, if we expand this, you can see a little document icon in the corner, and if I click on it where someone hasn't got references available, then it gives me the little error message. Let's reset the size down a bit. If I do an alt click on the document icon, then it shows me with a highlight all the ones where there are references available. And if I click on one of those, it will give me a list. Each one of these is a title with a link behind it. It could be a web page or a document or an image. And if I click on that particular one, that's taken me to a blog post, which is fair enough. If If I click on Mary, sorry, I clicked on the box instead. Click on the little icon, so she's got 3 available. And if I click on the box up there, William, there's a different 3, all blog posts in this case. An interesting feature of this is that there's a shift click configured, and if let's just do a control click to clear down those highlights. If I do a shift click, what it will actually do is to show me people with the same references as the one I've clicked on, and that's showing that Patricia and Ashby. The same again. Clicking on the document, more of a life revealed. Close that. Click on Mary. Yeah, more of a life revealed is also in her list. So it's a good way of finding documents or web pages or even images where the same people are both in there. Before I leave this, if I just demonstrate the expand image, I think this is a trivial thing to do, but on the tab it's actually got the title of the person, not the file name, which is what you'd see in the search box. And that's not that easy to get, but this will carry the title across for you. So let's close those down. Go back into the tree designer. How did we get those article references in? So let's edit one of these persons. Go to the program data tab, and there's a slightly cryptic looking list of the article references. What that is in a format that is registered in that application registration file, and if you want to manipulate it, when you're on the program data tab, the edit application data is available, and we can pick edit articles or image references. What that does then is put it into a table, and you can see from the headings then that you're editing the reference title or the data link. And this is also using the place key feature, so it could be a full URL, but in this case just for consistency I've used a shorthand, and it could begin HTTPS, that's no problem. Finally, as I'm closing this down, I just want to show you that in the progress window it logs the mouse click operations that are configured for the applications you've selected. So I'm going to wind this up, and there's a couple of other applications we'll look at in different videos, including timelines and ancestral links. So that's the end for this one.